And I might go on.
What's going on, ladies and DeGents? Welcome back to the Distinguished DeGents podcast, your one of many homes of degenerate gambling. I'm the man formerly known as Steve Big Bucks Beta. Joining me is not the guy on the right. This is the one, the only, not just the guy on the left. This is the grand return of my co-host, my partner in gambling. It is Jason Monty Mansman. Monty Mansman, I know you were excited to get into this recap video. Meanwhile, I, on the other hand, am ready to be done and over with it. Not a great week if you tailed Big Bucks Beta, but salvaged with a couple hedges. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, no, it was a very good week for me. I was up, and mind you, I lost Monday. I lost Thursday really bad, and was up 4 units for the week. So that is a hell of a win considering the circumstances. I started the week down like 4 units and basically hit for basically doubled my money on Sunday. So it was a really good day. And yeah, so it was good.
Yeah, I, on the other hand, am still literally counting my losses, but I have not even done the full tally yet, but I can give you right now a quick update. Yeah, we're already down 9 units, and I still have not finished tallying. Yeah, not a good day. Not a good day.
Do you have your actual record last week in your ATS?
Yes. Yes, I do. So, again, Monty Mansman, he unfortunately is going to be very busy this week, and we are going to have to go rapid fire. But I'll give you my quick numbers. As far as my 5 best bets, I went 2 and 3. I hit both of my over and my unders. 0 for 3 fade dog and best bet. And we're going to have to quickly get into that. As far as the week goes, I mean, Jesus Christ, again, a week I want to forget. 4-9-1 ATS due to Jacksonville not getting the cover. 6-8 on the money line, still not what you want. And 10-4 on the over-unders. I swear, every time I have a bad spread week, I make it up on the totals. So it's kind of like I get the vibe of what the game is going to be. It's the wrong team I end up going with lately, it seems like. But I will say, what salvaged my betting week was a lot of live betting, which I'm normally not that good at, but couple of ones I hit. Commanders, Browns, under 47.5. That was a live bet that I hammered. Won that at minus 160, so not the best odds. Hedged my San Francisco bet, so I broke even there, got my bet back. So not like the worst betting week per se that I've ever had, but it's, not necessarily a profitable one.
Well, guess what? In the contest, it's official. 6-4, I won.
Yeah.
Not by a lot, though. Not by a lot, though. I was 7-7 money line, and I'm trying to count. Oh, geez. Kansas City, no. 6-8 ATS. So,
really?
Didn't do great myself. The old spreads were a big reason why I was successful and had a couple good prop plays. But yeah, in terms of the contest, we back 6-4.
Yeah, just God, that is just unfortunate. One last thing, I did have a totals parlay that I think did just that salvaged my week. So maybe not nearly as bad as one had predicted, but I'll try to get that final number to you by the end of the episode. But like I said, we got to go rapid fire, unfortunately.
Yeah, let's get into it. Yeah.
Let's start with the breaking news, though. Jets 17, Minnesota 23. Came down to a final drive from Aaron Rodgers where he threw his 3rd interception to get the loss. Vikings cover. Another game that a total literally came down to a half a point. Looked very scary at first. We were here live watching the game and very early, and I mean, I don't know if this is an indication that the Vikings are falling back to earth or if this is just the Jets. And now I know the breaking news of Robert Saleh now fired. Ding dong, the Jets are dead because Nathaniel Hackett, offensive coordinator, still has a job.
God bless America.
That's my takeaway. Nathaniel Hackett still has a job. Robert Saleh doesn't. This country is racist.
Here's what I'll say about this game. And obviously, in future video, maybe we could. I know it's a really tough week because we have the wedding this weekend and a bunch of stuff going on. Here's what I'll say. Worst week imaginable to fire Robert Saleh coming back from London. Good luck, interim head coach coming back from London, putting a game plan together against the pissed off Bills team that lost 2 straight. So good luck to the Jets, Vikings. You know, they got a good defense. I'm worried about the injury to Aaron Jones. They couldn't run the ball after he left the game. So that bears keeping an eye on.
Okay. All right, moving on. And again, quick update. I went from down 9 to down 3.5 units. So still got 2 more sports books to check out, but I don't know. Maybe I did somehow profit in the shit week despite my picks. That would be my luck.
Well, there you go.
That would be my luck. But anyways, next up, Baltimore 41, Cincinnati 38 in overtime. Fucking had the 2.5 with the Bengals. Game was going back and forth. Probably the game of the week, truth be told.
Yeah, definitely.
Such an unfortunate hold for Evan McPherson. A field goal he normally makes in overtime. Everything seemed to go Cincinnati's way at the right time. Baltimore, once again, seemed like they weren't going to close it out. They kind of caught a lucky break. That's my take. Baltimore caught a break. Cincy should have won. But at the end of the day, good teams find a way. So
yeah, Cincinnati's defense continues to be shit. And congratulations, buddy. You had a Mansman game. 90% at one point.
I had a bunch of those. Oh, I had a bunch of those. We're going to game, trust me, we're going to talk about that. Honestly, I might have to do it Cinny, just for each one I may have to. We're going to see. But yeah, that was one that was just fucking unbearable. Wish I could have got the 3.
Right side, tough result. I think you were on the right side.
Yeah, and then, I don't know, man. There's something, they're talking about MVP Lamar again. Here in Baltimore. I don't know if you've heard on the radio, but they're saying MVP Lamar, and I'm like, I'm done. The Ravens might go on fade next week. I mean, I'm dead serious.
Yeah,
they might be the fade.
He had a good game against the bad defense. I don't know. Lamar still doesn't do it for me, but
all right. Miami 15, New England 10. I got nothing positive to say about either team here. Drake May's now the starter. I'm fading New England next week again. Like, why? I saw in 3 minutes that Drake May makes no difference compared to Jacoby Brissett. They have O-line issues. Patriots defense can't, they can't seem to get it together at the right moment. They choked this one away. Again, this felt like a right side originally, but I think Miami just, with Tyler Huntley, managed to do enough to beat a terrible Patriots team.
Yeah, I got nothing for this game, really. The key thing is just to come back healthy. If so, Miami may have a slight prayer, but I don't think either team is going anywhere.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, I'm gonna give you all your time on this one. Buffalo 20, Houston 23. Houston covers as the home underdog, under 47.5. You warned the people that if the Bills were to lose this game, you were raining hell on Taliban McDermott stand.
Now it's going to be a mini rant because of the time, but okay.
Oh no, go take your time. Go all in.
Here it goes. Baltimore game, skews, bad spot, Monday Night Football. Josh Allen this past week, 9 completions. 9. 33% completion percentage for Josh Allen in an NFL football game. Sean McDermott, one of the worst end-of-game sequence. Worse maybe than 13 seconds. Worse maybe than, and he's at the best, worse maybe than the Hail Murray. To throw the ball 3 times from your own end zone with 30 seconds left. That has to be, that's a fireable offense right there. The entire game, 9 of 30 for Josh Allen, fireable offense. This guy, McDermott, we are never going to win with him. He cannot win a big game, and he's a loss away from being gone. If they lose to the Jets this week, after they fired their coach, Monday Night Football, coming back from London, if the Buffalo Bills lose this game, Sean McDermott must be fired immediately.
God damn. So you're basically...
The last time we lost on Monday night, the offensive coordinator got fired. We lose on Monday night again, McDermott goes. That's it. Done with him. Done. No more excuses. No more bullshit. Time to go. 9 of 30 for Josh Allen in an NFL football game. Inexcusable. This coach has to go immediately. I honestly, he could go today. He could go tomorrow. But I'll tell you, if they lose to the Jets and we're 3-3 in second place in the division, yeah, this guy gotta fucking go immediately.
Yikes. So you're basically, to sum it up, you think that the Bills should do what the Jets did this week with Robert Saleh in a game where the Jets had according to New York media, Robert Saleh was told it was a must-win game. And you saw how serious he took it in Minnesota. They came out flat, unprepared. I could make the same comparison to the Bills, but I could see the Bills following in tandem with it. McDermott, this is a must-win game. You have to beat the Jets. The Jets are at their lowest. You are at your lowest. This is a must-win game. If you don't win this, you're stuck in New York.
Yeah, I think we leave him in New York if he loses. I mean, technically it's New York. We leave him in New Jersey if he loses.
Yeah, the New Jersey Jets.
No more excuses. No more crap. No more shit. This is a must-win game coming up. If you can't hack it, you gotta go.
Fair enough. All right, moving on. Oh God, I gotta tell you about this later. At the end. Indy 34, Jacksonville 37. Right side, half a point killed me. Didn't get the cover. Just fucking unfortunate for the contest because I think it was 3.5 in the contest. So that was a fucking killer. Joe Flacco looked good, but he definitely looked like he's making some business decisions with some of these throws. Jacksonville, I think they just showed up in a must-win spot and they got it together. They got the win. Now they got the win. They're traveling to London to go up against Chicago with some much-needed motivation there. So, good spot for Jacksonville. I'm keeping an eye on them.
Yeah, it's a game they kind of needed to win. If nothing else, just for their own satisfaction, they needed to find a way to win. And, yeah, I mean, it's predictable. They always beat the Colts. I think the Colts, it was just a matter of once it got above 3 points, you just had a feeling it was going to be a close game, and it was. And Joe Flacco just continues to confound. I mean, how many 300-yard games have there been from quarterbacks in the first 4 weeks of the season? And Joe Flacco just comes off the bench and throws up 360 like it's nothing. It's just crazy.
Which, I mean, if you remember, I don't remember him doing that with the Jets, but I remembered him doing that, afterwards with Cleveland. And, Cleveland making Cleveland decisions decided, we're just going to get rid of him and not take the L. We're going to ride with our man, Deshaun Watson.
Oh, my God. Can we get to that game?
Let me see if it's on the list. Actually, that's the perfect segue because that is the next game. Yeah, Cleveland 13, Washington 34. So, again, let me reiterate what my handicap was. You want to fade Washington. You want to look for a spot to fade Jaden Daniels. Like half of the sharps were out here. They're saying they're fading Jaden Daniels. This is the spot. That's fine. Like, I get it. You want to fade the rookie quarterback. You want to fade him while he's hot. You're getting good value on other teams. Like, I would get that. Except this was the Cleveland Browns. And how do you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm going to bet on this Cleveland Browns team at any number? Made no fucking sense to me. And Washington is, again, the books had it right. Washington was a 3-point favorite. They did it for a reason. Not even a fucking sweat. And I managed to hit. This was another game I managed to get lucky on because I had over 43.5, but I got concerned late in the game, so I actually hedged on the under 47.5, and the game ended at 47, so I got the middle.
Yeah, that was nice. Here's what I'll say. The Sharps were talking about it. This could be the week that Deshaun Watson has a good game. They've been saying that for the last 4 weeks, and we're still waiting. This team is their 2-point downgrade on the power rankings, if you have power rankings, which is something I may start thinking about doing at some point. But major downgrade for the Browns. They're terrible, unbettable at this point, complete auto fade.
Yeah, no, Browns go on auto fade. That's 100% for sure. I'm still tallying up to see how bad I did this week. We're back to a loss of 6 units, sadly.
Keep going. I'm going to go off camera, but keep going.
Go for it. All right. Last 1 o'clock game. Carolina 10, Chicago 36. This was one of the handicaps I happened to get completely right, so I'll just take a minute here. This was my over of the week. Carolina is a terrible. They have a terrible defense. This is the worst defense. And I gave credit to Ejiro Evero last year with how good they were. They have completely fucking regressed, and I don't know why, if it's Brian Burns or not, but it is such a terrible defense. Carolina's back on auto fade. I think the Roosters have come home, chickens have come home to roost. I don't know what the phrase is, but I'm done with Carolina. They had 1 game against the Raiders, and they haven't shown up since.
No,
Chicago.
You know what it is, buddy? It's the injuries. They have a ton of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. They were the Sharps were talking about it really before the game. That essentially, almost their entire front 7 is out injured, so they just don't have the pieces. The Bears basically could run at will. They couldn't get any pressure on Caleb Williams. It's essentially a team of backups right now. Well, think about it. They were a team of backups anyway, and now you're facing the backups. So
yeah,
when that happens, you get results like this where it was one-sided. And look, the beautiful thing is now the Bears are going to be priced, I think, probably as high as they've been all year, considering the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, speaking of, I think the Bears are a 1.5 favorite in London going up against Jacksonville.
Jaguars, yeah. Surprising.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting take. I haven't fully handicapped that one yet. I know a lot of the Sharps are coming out and they're kind of saying hammer Jacksonville in this spot, and I initially wanted to do that. I just hate when Sharps come out early and take a side, but really don't give a rhyme or reason other than you've heard the kind of logic where, the Jags are in London, they're good in London, we need to, and it's I remember they lost to a Denver team. I remember they played a couple bad spots, and it's they had the Bills game where that was kind of fluky. So I gotta really look into that.
Look, I think the key thing to remember is, like we learned with the Browns game, it's great to fade a team, but you need to also be betting on something. And it's not good enough to just have a fade spot if you're not going to bet on it, if you have nothing to bet on. So
no,
if you have no faith in the Jaguars, which I think it's very hard to have faith in this team considering the performances they've put up, it's kind of hard to convince me that this is a team you want to back.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with both these teams. Although Chicago, the thing with Chicago, they played 2 really bad defenses. Caleb Williams hasn't had to do so much. They let loose DeAndre Swift again, but I think that's the key to the Bears' success moving forward. They got to be able to utilize the run, and I think if they can, then Caleb Williams can do what he needs to do, whether it's hero ball or not. So again, Bears are a team I'm keeping an eye on. I'm just not sure if they're the team I want to fade in London yet. That's going to be a spot come tomorrow. Which, speaking of, before we get into the 4 o'clock games, we do have to announce that due to the wedding obligations we have, we will not be on live for the Friday episode. However, we will be live tomorrow during the Sunday Night Football game or prior to the game. I think we'll probably aim for prior. We'll give out all our handicaps, including our Thursday Night Football picks, and we'll give out the rest of the Week 6 game. Might be another rapid-fire session, but TBD.
Yeah.
All right, 4 o'clock games. Arizona 24, 49ers 23. Another game, another unfortunate result. Just couldn't fucking... The Niners just fucking couldn't get it done at home against a team they always beat. Despite the fact they never lose at home, they finally lost at home.
Well, my friend, there's your other 90%er, because it was 23-10 or whatever, and it looked like the Niners were just cruising to an easy victory. And then lo and behold, the Niners just completely screwed the game. Brock Purdy, I think, threw a really bad interception. I don't know what's wrong with the Niners. Maybe they're finally starting to miss C-Mac. Like, I don't know. This Niners team feels like it should be better, and they're just not. Unfortunately, that's the crazy thing. They really feel like they should be much better, and they're just not. And I don't know. Thursday is a very strange game. I know we're going to do our pick. And honestly, I'm still back and forth over who I think is going to win the game. This crazy game Thursday.
I have a side of where I'm going to go with it. I just don't know if I'm confident either in it. I will say, like, I did track a new trend, and these are teams on the look-ahead spot. Teams normally looking ahead to Thursday night, 5-4-1, ATS 6-4 straight up. This week though, both teams went 0-2. So really, so to me, I think if you like are a trends better, because I gave out all the trends of San Francisco, Arizona, and we're gonna get shortly into Seattle, but it was like these were good spots to pick these teams. Fucking 90% couldn't get it done. All right, I am going to introduce the game real quick, and then I'm going to let you say your piece, despite this being my team. The Las Vegas Raiders it was 18. And the Denver Broncos 36. I want to say it was the number. Just lost it. 34. 34-18 was the final. So, I will indubitably declare the curse of Ronald Mansman has been lifted.
All it took was Gardner Minshew to do it.
And Aiden O'Connell. Which, by the way, I need you to... I know we talked about this, and I know you said you were going to do it. You were a man of your word, and you did. Aiden O'Connell came in. You made your live bet. But what were you thinking?
To be fair, we almost got there. We just needed another touchdown. The end. We didn't get it. Bro, Aiden O'Connell starting this week, and I'm really liking the Raiders now. To me, this game, it was a 10-10 game, close game. The Raiders are going in to score, and then they throw a 100-yard pick six in the end zone. Like, don't you feel like that changed the whole game, and the Raiders never, had a chance after that?
It did seem like the momentum had switched, but even, I'm trying to check here, but even going into the third quarter, it was still a relatively close game. I mean, it was 13-10 going into the third. Will Lutz had kicked the go-ahead field goal, and then Bo Nix came out, middle of the third, got the touchdown, and it just seemed like the Raiders had, went to lay down and die, and then you got Aiden O'Connell, and they just couldn't really do anything. And that 18 points, I mean, that was real garbage time scoring at that point. The Raiders, I think they really are as bad as we had predicted they were going to be. I know we were somewhat high on them in the preseason, but Broncos right now are 3-2. They're only 3 more wins away from breaking the over/under win total for the year. So that might be some early money next week. Denver's got a very interesting game. They actually host the Chargers next week.
Yeah, Chargers off the bye. Good luck, buddy. I'll be rooting for you because I hate the Chargers, but you know.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this too. I disagree with you on your Aiden O'Connell take. I mean, in that second half, 10 for 20, 94 yards and a pick. I mean, on one hand, you could say the Raiders went up against a tough Broncos defense. I think that's true. I literally see, but I remember I asked you and I was like, how did Gardner Minshew get the starting job? And it was basically, well, nobody really won the starting job, but they are paying Gardner.
Yeah.
And now they're switching to Aiden, and I'm like, no offense, like, this guy's not better. If he was better, he would have been the starter. So why all of a sudden do we love them? I'm not sure. I'm not
I don't say love, but I think he gives them a better chance to win. Minshew's too high variance for this team. Their defense, they need like a guy who's not going to take risks, not going to turn the ball over, and you can't survive with Gardner Minshew throwing pick sixes in the end zone. Like the Raiders are not good enough to overcome mistakes like that. So
no,
I'm happy Aiden O'Connell's in. My Raiders over 6.5 win bet has a chance now. Really interesting game against the Steelers. This could be the game of the second stringers because I hear that Russell Wilson is going to get the start for Pittsburgh. So
there is a rumor floating around, but I don't think they should.
That is going to be an interesting game.
I don't think they should start Russ. Hot take. I don't think they should. There was nothing wrong with what Justin Fields was doing. I mean, don't get me. And to be honest with you, like having seen the Steelers' offense, it's not him. It's Arthur Smith, the coordinator, and I just think this is another situation of Pittsburgh hiring a really bad offensive coordinator and having a guy who was brought into a team with a quarterback in a system that he's just not used to doing. I mean, even the stats, like I know it was very low, 131, two touchdowns, no picks. So Fields isn't making the mistakes like we're used to seeing. 93.3 QBR. I just don't know what you're going to get in a Russell Wilson in this system that's going to make a difference. And I think as long as Fields isn't fucking it up, I think he should stay in. But that's my last take. Moving on, we got the Giants 29, Seattle 20. Fucking fuck. This was my best bet of the week. Fucking had it at 5.5 at open. Went all the way up to 7.5. They go to kick the game-tying field goal on the off chance, because I have the bet at 5.5. I'm thinking, wow, if they tie this game and go to overtime, Seattle gets a touchdown, the cover hits. And they fucking block the field goal and run it back for a touchdown. Just another fucking bad break.
No, see, that's not a bad break because literally the Seahawks got a 100-yard fumble return for a touchdown at the end zone. The Giants were 100% in control of that game. Like, they pretty much dominated the whole game, honestly. So that one was more almost closer to a suck out than a bad beat.
Maybe. I'll give you that. Maybe it wasn't a bad beat. It was just, it felt like a bad beat because of the way the rest of the week had gone. I was just like, oh, this one I'm going to suck out on. Nope. This one I'm going to suck out on. Nope. Just couldn't get it. And everything was going the right direction, too. I mean, except for Seattle, like, I know they were pretty much playing from behind the whole game. I got to give credit to Daboll and that Giants defense. They really stepped up in this spot. They have an interesting matchup next week on Sunday Night Football or is it Monday night? No, it's Sunday night. They play the Cincinnati Bengals at home. That's 3.5-point dogs. So I'm very intrigued to see where the public goes in that game by tomorrow. See where the sharp money's at. But do you have any final takes on this game?
No, I was just really surprised at how good the Giants performed. They honestly surprised me a lot because I thought they were. Oh, can you hear that?
Yeah, why?
Sorry. No, hold on. My bad for that. Little technical issues. Um, yeah, no, I thought the Giants were pretty much dead in the water, and they've put together two really good performances. They looked pretty good against Dallas, and for them to go into Seattle and beat Seattle like that. Not that I think Seattle's that good. Um, Giants are feisty. They got a good coach. You could tell a good coach. They're going to be competitive in a lot of games. So
Fair enough. All right.
keep an
Fade of
eye
the
on them
week.
as big dogs.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye for sure. It's at 3.5 right now for Sunday Night Football for the Giants. Dallas 20, Pittsburgh 17. Or sorry, that's Sunday night. We got to talk about Green Bay Rams first. That was my fade of the weeks. Green Bay 24, Rams 19. This was a game I was on the wrong side the whole time. I got to eat this one. I thought the Rams was a fucking smart play. I thought I was being cute. Wasn't even 100% confident in it, but I tried to play the Rams as a home dog angle. I didn't like the spot for Green Bay. I thought Jordan Love was being overhyped again, and really this Rams team, the variance, I think you mentioned like the Raiders, the variance is too high right now with this team, where I just think at this point they're unbettable.
I gotta say, I knew what the Rams were. I might have to downgrade Green Bay a little bit. Jordan Love had one of the stupidest interceptions I've seen. It was a Will Levis special. Just complete idiot. Chucks it out of the back of his end zone for a pick six.
Yeah.
Can we have Malik Willis back? Like, I feel like this Packers team was better with Malik Willis. I don't know. They're not running the ball as well. They won. It was good. Jordan Love had a couple splash plays. But let's be honest. This is a guy who's living off of a good second half of the season last year. This guy has not been a premier quarterback for a while. And those people who had Jordan Love in the top 5 of their quarterback rankings, no chance, no prayer.
No, I wasn't one of those guys. In fact, I think I'm pretty sure I was the one telling you all year, like, Jordan Love is not that great.
Yeah.
Kind of played some fluky teams this year, this Green Bay team. Once they play some real competition, I think we're going to get a better idea of who he really is. Green Bay hosts Arizona this week, 5.5 point favorites. This might be my early fade of the week contender, but we'll see.
I couldn't fault you, honestly. Couldn't fault you.
All right, now we can talk about Sunday night. Dallas 20, Pittsburgh 17. We briefly touched on Justin Fields. I think he should stay on the field. He's not fucking up, but they might start Russ moving forward. But sort of like a non-productive game for this Steelers team. Dallas's defense kind of kept the Steelers in control. We had a weird weather delay, which kind of fucked things up too. It felt like. Another game, I had the Steelers minus 2.5. I had the under in that game. Bet them each separately, bet them as a parlay, and it literally came down to this was like a 13 seconds where Dallas was driving, and I'm like, this is where it goes to die, and sure as shit.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for you, but I had Dallas, so I made 2.5 units on that game, which was very nice, very good. I don't know. The Steelers, to me, that's kind of their MO. They always sort of are a 500 team, and they get a little too high. So then they get overbet, and then they lose a couple, and then they get underbet, and they win a couple. Like, the Steelers are just your prototypical 500 team. Their defense, I don't know, man. They give up some big pass plays. Like, Dallas had a lot of yards, a couple stupid turnovers. I don't know. It felt like a game that normally Pittsburgh wins, but good on Dallas finding a way to win, kind of righting the ship a little bit. But I don't know. It's kind of two teams that I feel like I don't know what they are.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what Dallas is either. I'm not sold on them. They just seem to be like almost like this next team we're going to talk about in Kansas City, where it's like when they win games, they do just enough to win, but when they lose, they tend to lose just really bad, not in a productive way. Like, the week before, Thursday night against the Giants, albeit that was kind of an unlucky cover situation. They still won, but that really wasn't a blowout win. The week before with the Ravens, they really got their doors blown off, and then they started a comeback, and the Ravens almost blew it. The week before that, the Saints came into Dallas and blew them apart. And then, they beat Cleveland, but really that wasn't a game. I just, this Dallas Cowboys team is supposed to be a lot more explosive, and they're supposed to be a lot better on offense. But this Ezekiel Elliott transition, and they're now moving to Dinwiddie. The offense kind of looks a little better, which I think it's kind of telling that once Dallas gets the running game initiated, it's going to be a different team moving forward. So, but until then, Dallas is, I wouldn't bet them as a high favorite. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
All right. Finally, Monday Night Football, New Orleans 13, Kansas City 26. Prototypical game by Kansas City, but I thought the Saints plus 5.5 would be the bet. So why would I bet Kansas City to win, despite that being my handicap, when I could get New Orleans plus 5.5, and it never once was fucking close, and I was just dead wrong. And Derek Carr remembered who he was against the Kansas City Chiefs. You can take Derek Carr out of the Raiders, but you can't take the Raiders out of Derek Carr.
Yeah, no, definitely. So we've learned that the Saints are not good. I think the first couple of weeks of the year we got fooled, and we're learning that the Saints were fraudulent. If they can't run the ball, they can't do anything. And Kansas City stopped the run, and then they couldn't do anything. As for Carr, by the way, Carr suffered that oblique injury, so he's going to be out a couple weeks. Tampa Bay is a 3.5-point favorite in New Orleans. I couldn't pick the New Orleans backup quarterbacks out of a lineup. I don't know how the Bucks aren't 6.5-point favorites this week. I've already got a bet, and here we go. I'll give you a little early one because it involves Thursday night too. Kenneth Walker over 56.5 rushing yards. You look at the comps, Kyron Williams, a couple other running backs on good teams the Niners have played. They've all gone over this yardage. I have Kenneth Walker over 56 rushing yards, 56.5. And I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers minus 3.5.
Yeah, so quarterback 2 is Jake Kinnear. Quarterback 2, he was a 2023 fourth-round pick. Quarterback 3 is Spencer Rattler. Emergency quarterback, Taysom Hill.
Spencer Rattler, there we go.
I would just be careful with this Bucs line. The Bucs defense, as we've seen for the past 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, to be honest with you, their defense is very bad as well. They have been exposed by multiple different offenses. Bo Nix went off on this guy, or went off on this team. So I would just be careful hammering a 3.5 bet. But yeah, if Carr is out, don't know how you don't hit it either. So
my only problem is you had people that were going to take advantage. I don't know if Jake Kinnear, who I've never heard of, I don't know if he's the type of guy who's going to be able to take advantage of much of anything.
That's a fair argument. That is a fair argument. But again, and it's if Derek Carr does start, are we taking him with an oblique injury?
I don't think he's even going to start.
He's not. He's out. So
if he does, that's even more of a reason. That is even more of a reason to bet Tampa Bay because he's going to be hobbled.
No, he's going to be expected to miss some time. Oh God, yeah, 3.5 right now, just on the early look ahead. And Tampa Bay's getting a shit ton of the money. Public, yeah, I could. I may have to look more into it, but I know you got stuff to do. So, is there anything else you want to say, or any final thoughts, comments, concerns?
No, just be careful of, and we got to be more mindful of it. These trap games, because I feel like sometimes these sharp trap games. I feel like the New Orleans game is one that's going to be very easy to overthink. I think the Chiefs game was one where you overthink it. all the sharps were on the Saints to be very clever, and you know, you got to be careful. And I think the Chiefs game was one where you overthink it. all the sharps were on the Saints to be very clever, and you know, you got to be careful. All the sharps were on the Saints to be very clever, and unfortunately, when you go and you try and be clever, sometimes you get smacked down. And I could see this being, just be careful of that because it's very easy to go and get smacked down. You think you're being smart, you outthink yourself. Cleveland Browns, we saw the Kansas City game, where you just think you're being smart, you think you're being clever, and then before you know it, you're losing. So keep your head on a swivel, folks.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. I got nothing else. I'm done with week 5. Final tally, lost 6 units. So
Oh,
it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought, but not a profitable week. For the year, I am currently 35-40 in 3 ATS, 42-36 money line, 46-32 over unders. So next week we're going to be looking for a bounce back. I have an early teaser since you gave out an early bet. I'll give out my early teaser. I teased 2 teams down, 1 team up. Teased up Jacksonville for the London game. Jacksonville plus 7.5. Got the Ravens from a 6.5 favorite to a 0.5 point against Washington. And I got the Houston Texans, who are traveling to New England as 7-point favorites. I got them down to 1. So all 3 in a teaser plus 140.
Okay, wow. I find no fault with your reasoning. I like that.
Yep. Mansman, tomorrow, what? I'm assuming same time, but are we going to have to rapid fire or are we going to have more time to discuss?
I think we should probably do rapid fire to some extent. Try and keep it about an hour so we don't cut too much into the game. We'll just sort of give our picks, get in, get out, and be good.
Fair enough, sir. All right, guys. If you tune in, make sure you join us tomorrow. We'll give out our Thursday night football and the rest of the week 6 picks. Rapid fire edition. That will be the title. It will be rapid fire. All right, I got nothing left. I'm Steve Big Bucks Beta.
Money Man's signing off. Thanks for
As
doing
always.
this, buddy. Appreciate it. Yep.
Yes, sir. And as always, go make that motherfucker.